So today we're going to talk about the divisions of the nervous system. We should be able to identify the three general functions of the nervous system. We should be able to identify what CNS and PNS stands for, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. We should be able to list the structural components of each of those nervous systems, and we should be able to explain the functional classifications of the PNS in particular. So first of all, the nervous system, is your control center. I think you're familiar with that. It's making decisions, it's telling your body what to do, it's coordinating responses. There are three components, and these three components really identify the three functions of the nervous system. So first you have sensory input. So in this picture, you're eyeballing the glass of water. Sensory input, integration, that's decision making. So deciding what to do about that glass of water that you're looking at. And finally, motor output. So this is going to the arm. It's telling your arm to pick up the glass of water and have a drink. So those are the three jobs. Sensory input might come from your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, but it also might come from inside of you. You have chemical receptors that are monitoring pressures of oxygen, carbon dioxide, pH. You have chemoreceptors responding to glucose levels. We have proprioceptors that are responding to tension changes, kind of helping with our balance. We have mechanoreceptors inside of our ear, allows us equilibrium. So senses aren't just those five senses that you're familiar with. Those are your general senses because you have those sense receptors everywhere, but you also have your special senses, and those are the ones that are contained within certain areas. So sensory input, integration, and motor output are the three jobs, and the divisions of the nervous system allow it to do those three jobs. So first, here's the structural division. This is the brain and spinal cord. That's the CNS. And then you have the peripheral nervous system, which is basically all of the nerves leaving either your brain or your spinal cord. So I'm going to talk about the central nervous system first. That brain, your thinking component, right? We know that the brain allows us to make decisions. So sensory information is going to go in, and your brain is going to do the interpretation, the integration, the decision making, and then we're going to send that information out through the motor components. The brain and spinal cord are found in the dorsal body cavity, which we know is our cranium and our vertebral column. The peripheral nervous system we can divide up lots of ways. So you have the afferent and the efferent. Afferent, the sensory input is going toward the nervous system. So this is strictly referring to the direction the impulses are traveling with respect to the central nervous system. So afferent or sensory, you can use those interchangeably, is going toward. So that's taking information to the brain to be interpreted. Efferent or motor, again, you can use those interchangeably, takes information away from the nervous system. So this is coming down the spinal cord and telling your body what to do. This is going to organs, glands, muscles. Maybe you have to release some hormones. Maybe your body has to run. Maybe your stomach needs to release some digestive enzymes. So the efferent is carrying out an effect. I'm going to continue to divide the peripheral nervous system. So we were just talking about the efferent division. The efferent division then can be divided into the autonomic division. So those things you don't consciously control, like your heart, your lungs, or the somatic division. The somatic division are things you can control, which is your skeletal muscles. So moving your arms, moving your legs, things like that. So the autonomic division then is further divided into sympathetic or parasympathetic. So the sympathetic division is called fight or flight. So this gives us an evolutionary advantage in that we can flee to save ourselves, or we can fight to get food back in the day, or to evade a predator or something like that. So fight or flight we now use when we're stressed or threatened. Anytime you feel threatened, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in. So what is that going to be? Mostly it's increasing heart rates and breathing rate, because we want as much blood to go to our muscles and legs and arms as possible. So we're going to try to get as much oxygen because oxygen makes energy to our muscles. So we're going to dilate the blood vessels that go to our legs and arms. We're going to constrict the blood vessels in our stomach. We don't need to digest food anymore. So blood is going to go away from the stomach. That's the butterfly feeling you get. And it's going to go to your arms and legs. Other things that happen, you get a prickly scalp. You dilate your pupils so you can take in as much information as possible. We have to assess the situation and make appropriate responses. And over here you can see lots of things that are happening. They're either slowing your digestive processes, so you stop producing digestive enzymes, or they're going to be related to delivering more blood to the muscles. And finally, after Thanksgiving Day dinner, you're all going to sit back, relax, and enjoy your parasympathetic nervous system, which is resting and digesting. So this is going to be almost all the opposite things. So we're going to bring levels back to normal. This is after they've been elevated, the parasympathetic brings them back to normal. So we constricted our blood vessels. Now they're going to get tiny again. We're going to deliver more blood to our digestive system. We're going to release digestive juices in our stomach and in our mouth. We're going to reconstrict our pupils to their normal size. We're going to bring our heart rate back down to normal, breathing rate, blood pressure, all those things are going to go back to normal. So it's not that they're like comatosing you, they're just bringing things back to the normal range. So that's it for the nervous system, a short, sweet lecture. Study that little bit. It's such a little bit that you have time to make sense of it so we can add on to it tomorrow. So from this, you should be able to identify the three general functions. So we had sensory input, integration, and then motor output. You should identify the functional, structural pieces of the CNS, the brain and spinal cord, the structural pieces of the PNS, which is the nerves. Then we talked about the functional classifications of the PNS. So we divided the PNS into information going in, sensory, information going out, motor. We then took the motor and divided again into those things we could control, somatic, and those things we couldn't control, autonomic. And then we further divided the autonomic into things basically speeding up to ready ourselves, and that's sympathetic, and then the things that kind of slow us down into normal state, and that's our parasympathetic. So that's it. Thanks for listening.